going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of the Sportorium podcast. As you can see, we kicked James off the podcast. He was the weak link. We replaced him with Rocco.
Yep. What's
Kidding.
up?
James is still here. He's just busy today, so he will not be joining us. So for this week's episode, we're going to structure it a little differently. Instead of going over all the games, we're just going to talk about some key things that happened this week and stuff like that. So to start it off, we're going to talk about some young quarterbacks in the league, starting off with Trevor Lawrence. He's been playing very well recently. Obviously, had a crazy game-winning drive comeback against the Ravens.
He's definitely been solid, for sure.
Yeah. He's been inconsistent, but beginning of the year, not great. With a young quarterback, you want to see these flashes, and he's having a lot of flashes. You're not expecting them to be like great, but at least he's not doing what Zach Wilson's doing.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, he's also like now he has a good coach.
Yeah.
He has some better weapons now.
He hasn't thrown a pick since week 8, so he's thrown 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but he fumbled twice, so he's got to get that in order.
That one game, I think it was against the Eagles, he fumbled like 5 times or something.
Jesus.
That was really early in the year though.
Yeah, and it was a really rainy game, but he's been doing very well.
He'll be good.
Obviously, coming out of college, he's one of the most hyped prospects we've literally ever seen. So to see him taking these steps is definitely great for his development. It also sucked that he was stuck with Urban Meyer for his rookie year. So
yeah, you see their safety said that too.
Yeah, Andrew Wingard. He's like,
really?
But
yeah, he's like, I'm not even sure he had a rookie season. He had to deal with Urban Meyer.
Yeah, he literally just came out and said it. Like, I mean, it was very clear that they all hated him.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Next quarterback we're talking about is Kenny Pickett.
I think that's definitely an interesting one.
Yeah,
because like he had a good game the other day, but it's nothing crazy. But it's definitely nice to see him like looking better. But I mean, we still got to see more. Obviously, it's just like one game.
I just say that connection with him and George Pickens is looking real good.
Yeah, it's a very nice.
Pickens looks really good.
Pickett is cocky though, and I hate that about him. He's not that good.
Yeah, even his good performances, he's not really doing anything special.
Yeah.
Like last week, he had a good game. He didn't have a touchdown. He had like 170 yards or something.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's not really turning it over as much anymore.
Yeah, he kept the ball clean, but
also the Colts, they struggled that first half.
Really it was a bad
bad.
first half. Just an ugly game in general. But
yeah.
And then the whole timeout thing at the end, where they just didn't call a timeout for some reason.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's usually what happens when you hire an ex-O lineman who has zero coaching experience.
He's been doing great though. He has.
But also Matt Ryan could have called the timeout too. You know, he's that veteran presence.
That's
He
true.
should have known.
Yeah,
He's like washed.
True.
That's also true.
He is really bad now.
Yeah, so he has the most yards lost from sacks this year.
That doesn't surprise me.
Because, like we said it before, he just runs backwards.
Yeah.
He thinks he's
sacks
athletic.
a lot too, for no reason.
He does do that.
Granted,
Granted, the O-line's not great, but like part of it's on him.
But still, a lot of it is on him.
Who is worse, him or Joe Flacco as a statue?
Oh,
That's
tough.
I honestly would say
tough.
Matt Ryan's worse.
Wow.
Because Flacco at least tried to just like stand in the pocket and throw it. He's not running around like an idiot.
Okay, that's true.
Although
like, yeah,
Flacco didn't look great, he's just realizing, I can't move, so I'm just going to stand here and throw it.
True.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's like, all right, I'm gonna try to get around this dude.
Matt Ryan did that. For
I'm
like
15
2
yards
weeks.
back.
Literally, like, what was this? His 3rd game back from after like being benched.
Yeah, something like that.
I think like the first game, whoever they beat, he didn't look terrible, and then they barely lost to the Eagles. Whoever they beat the Raiders and then barely lost to the Eagles. Those 2 games, he didn't look terrible because he's not just running around like an idiot.
True.
Yep. And then he decided to do that again. So next quarterback we're talking about, Mike White. Obviously, we got 2 Jets fans now. I would like to hear your opinions.
Tyler started off.
I definitely think he should be the starter until he has a bad game. He just played so much better than what Zach did. And the whole locker room it's changed. You could see everyone was excited on the sidelines. It was just a good game.
Yeah, they're backing him big time.
Yeah.
So, and if the players want him and everything, you got to roll with him.
It was very easy to tell if the players like weren't behind Zach Wilson.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like you were able to just tell the entire game.
Yeah.
I also like what Tyler said, like starting until he has a bad game. I also think if he has a bad game, you should not go back to Zach Wilson.
Yeah, no, I think you roll with White for.
I don't think you can go back to Zach Wilson.
No, I don't think so.
Definitely not this year.
Not this year, at least.
If White strings together like 2 really bad games in a row,
maybe you go to Flacco.
I would go to Flacco at that point. Yeah, I wouldn't go back to Zach at all.
I really don't think you can go back to Zach. at this point.
I rather go back to Zach though, because you'll be able to see what we have with him. Should we move on and draft a QB or not?
Yeah.
Or not draft,
Or hit like
sign,
a free
you want.
agency, yeah.
Garoppolo, Carr, something like that.
I honestly think it's Jimmy G.
It makes a lot of sense.
I think Jimmy G makes the most sense. Carr would make sense too, but you're still gonna have to trade for him.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you really want to give up some for Derek Carr?
Yeah, and especially how the other quarterback trades have gone.
Yeah.
Might be a little too risky for.
I'm just scared with like signing Jimmy G.
I wouldn't be.
I feel like they'll
solid.
ask for a lot of money.
No, I don't think he'd ask for that much, but like the Jets still have a lot of cap. It's not like they don't. They don't have like an insane amount of free agents to re-sign either.
Or
not yet.
Or Mike White's just the answer.
That
He
could
was
be
the
true
FedEx
too.
Air Player of the Week.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, he shouldn't have been.
And I know they played against the Bears, but the Bears were technically ranked 9th in the pass defense, and he just
and then you had Eddie Jackson like
I don't know what
die on
happened
the
that
field.
play. I don't know.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson snapped his ankles. He ended up. We'll talk about that later, but he like broke a bone in his foot or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. MetLife turf at it again.
Yeah.
I'm just curious on what Mike White's going to do, because last year he did great against the Bengals.
Yeah.
And had garbage game right after that. Is he going to do the same? We'll
I
see.
mean, he's gonna have a great game if they want to win.
He got injured the next
He did
game
get hurt in one game
against the Colts.
Yeah, he did.
He did get hurt.
Okay.
I don't know who came in after that, but he definitely did get hurt
It was
at some point.
Josh Johnson.
Yeah,
Stud.
it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was him.
If he gets hurt, Chris Streveler.
Nah, it's
Down.
gonna be Flacco.
I would. Yeah. It depends. If they're in a playoff spot and Mike White's not doing well, then I'd put Flacco in.
Yeah.
If their season is just already gone,
If
then
they
I would
lose, like,
say
the next three, I would say just put Zach back in. Because like, if
just
they
to see
lose the
what you
next
got.
three, they're what, like 7-7?
They can
Yeah.
still make it though, because
They
the
definitely
next
still
two
could
are the
make it,
Vikings
but-
and Bills.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
But then
So,
they got like the Lions, the Jags.
Yeah, but I'd never count out the Lions though.
Seahawks
realistically.
and Miami. So
I mean, the Jets defense has been like phenomenal. So
That's what I think. If the Jets defense just plays well,
you can win
they'll
any
be
of those
fine.
games.
yeah.
Yeah,
could
they
go-
could, but
we
I
could
mean,
go
I don't
3
know.
and 3.
I just want to see how Mike White does this week because,
Yeah,
like, against the Bills, it's like a different thing. We know like the defense will probably get. I was gonna say like the defense would get shredded by the Bills, but like that didn't happen.
No,
So that doesn't really make
the
sense.
Jets
but
defense shredded Josh Allen.
yeah, I
and
don't
my
know.
dreams.
I mean, we'll see. The Vikings don't have a great defense, but
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets defense is really just gonna have to step up if they want to win.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
Now, next we're going to talk about Mac Jones. Is he bad? Is he good? Is everything to blame on Matt Patricia? Rup, talk about it.
I wouldn't say everything's to blame on Matt Patricia because to like start this year, you could tell he was like turning the ball over in some very stupid ways. But I think since coming back from his injury, he's looked pretty good. He's thrown one pick in the last 3 weeks, which is definitely an improvement from how he started. The touchdown numbers obviously aren't there, but that's just because they're terrible in the red zone overall, which that I actually would definitely blame on Matt Patricia. We saw on Thursday night, they get into the red zone and on second down, they run like a reverse jet sweep that loses 10 yards. So it's like they're just calling stupid plays for no reason. Like you clearly have a running back who we all know is very good at this point. You have Devontae Parker, who's one of the best jump ball guys in the league. You throw a fade to like Nelson Aguilar instead of him.
Yeah.
So it's like stuff like that that's just like not making sense. But
And especially Hunter Henry, he was one of the best red zone targets in the league last year.
yeah, he's been better
He's-
the last couple of weeks. They've tried to get him more involved, but they just don't use him in the red zone at all. Even Jonnu Smith,
I was gonna say Jonnu
throw him a
was
screen
great.
in the red zone.
Yeah. They
Throw him
don't.
something.
I think Mac Jones is garbage. Just saying. Put Zappy in, like I said before.
Nah.
I don't
don't
like
think-
Jones.
I think he's good, but I think also like last week Aguilar like sold on him.
He did.
He
That
could
did
have
happen
had
really
that
bad.
catch.
Aguilar
you
does it
know?
a lot, though.
He
so
does do that. I mean, Aguilar
Yeah.
had a good game overall. But
Yeah.
in that
Overpaid.
spot, oh, he's definitely overpaid. But in that spot, why are you like? It's 4th and 10. You need a conversion. He throws a perfect ball to the sideline, and Nelson Aguilar stops running for no reason. Why are you
it's
like putting
so funny.
Nelson Aguilar in that situation? That's another thing that I don't understand. I just think like going into next year, it's his 3rd year. He obviously looked good as a rookie. Last couple weeks, he's looking good this year. If he keeps putting together good weeks of like the rest of the season, I'll say it every year. You got to look into getting an actual wide receiver one.
Mhm.
I'll say it forever. Like you can win games with Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, but like you see what Justin Jefferson did in that game the other day, how much of a difference that makes, how much of a difference Diggs made for Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle for Tua. It's just you see how much of like a step those guys take up when they actually get someone
like AJ Brown and Jalen
someone
Hurts.
you can look to in like big moments. Like Patriots needed a drive, and you don't really have anyone who can actually like get open. Also, just Matt Patricia, you have a defensive coordinator calling plays.
It literally does not make sense.
That also is just a whole other thing. But hopefully next year they try to move on from that, and I mean we'll see. But they're 6-5 right now, definitely not out of a playoff spot. I'd like to see Matt keep putting like another couple good weeks together.
And it's got a real test this week against a pretty good defense, starting to get healthy too. So we'll see. All right, next we're going to talk about the Commanders quarterback situation. So obviously Heineke has been the starter. The Wentz trade just not looking good at all.
No, it's not.
So my question to you guys is, should they go out and get a guy, or should they just roll with Heineke until maybe a good free agent or one of the top quarterbacks in the draft falls to them?
I would say if someone falls, yes. But like we see Heineke come in like a role where he's not supposed to start and then look pretty good. Like we've seen this year, whatever they are now. I don't know what the record is now, but they've been winning a lot lately.
With him, they're 5-1.
So it's like
I think you guys just continue to roll with him.
Is it just because of him? Like, is it that much of a difference between him playing to Carson Wentz, or is it just they're actually just not a bad team? So it's like I don't know. I would say if someone fell, but they're like right now they're probably in a playoff spot.
They are. They're the last wild card right now.
Yeah, they're not going to have like that low of a pick to where they're going to get Stroud or Bryce Young or someone like that. So
I think they should just roll with Heineke to the end of the season, and then you see him free agency. I don't think they're going to be able to draft a good quarterback. So
I also, if I was them, I wouldn't try to go for like a lower tier free agent because I feel like if you're bringing in like Jimmy G or someone like that, it's kind of stupid.
Yeah,
like
especially with like the contract wise.
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
if there was ever, this obviously isn't happening. Like obviously Lamar is a free agent. Like that's the kind of guy you go for. But I wouldn't. I would rather just stick with Heineke than go after like Jimmy G or whoever else is there.
I wouldn't mind if like Derek Carr would go.
Like Derek Carr, that's different too.
Yeah,
but it's like Derek Carr is a trade situation, so it's like, do you look at Russell
tough.
Wilson trade last year? Do you want to take a risk like that?
And how they just traded for Wentz and that hasn't worked.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm saying like Heineke overall in his last 2 years has looked 2 or 3 years has looked pretty good. But I mean that's definitely a tough situation they're gonna have to look into.
Yeah.
It is.
It's tough for sure. I don't even know. I can't give an answer.
Yeah,
he's not the guy, but
I don't think he's the guy, but it's just I wouldn't sign a not top guy. It's kind of stupid.
Their team plays just so well when he's there. Like they have his back.
It's kind of like a Colts situation with them where they try different QBs and they don't work out.
Yeah.
So at some point you're either gonna have to trade up for a top guy or try and like trade up for a top rookie or try and trade for an actual star.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind if like Hendon Hooker or something falls to them in like the second or third round or something.
That's not a bad idea either.
But like if it's between like Will Levis or Heineke, Will Levis has to be in like the perfect scenario to succeed. Or like Anthony Richardson. I would rather just stick with Heineke at that point.
I probably would stick. I mean, Heineke's not like he's 35 years old.
Yeah, he's still like
he's not 29. He's not some crazy talented player, but he is winning games for them.
It's a tough spot to be in, though. It definitely is.
Yeah.
So next we're going to talk about Jordan Love. So obviously we saw some Jordan Love action on Sunday night. It looked pretty good. Obviously his stats were a little inflated because Christian Watson took a slant 60 yards for a touchdown. But he did look pretty solid.
I thought so. 6 for 9 for 113 and a touchdown. But like you said, that touchdown did go.
I would start him for the rest of the year. I would do it.
I would start him this week because you get to see him against the Bears at least.
I think they're just out of a playoff. I think they're out of playoffs.
They are, but I don't think rushing Aaron Rodgers right now.
I wouldn't even say it's rushing Aaron Rodgers. I would just say you kind of know you're not making playoffs. So you did use a first-round pick on Jordan Love years ago. Might as well give him more than 1 week to try and show
I think they're technically like could make playoffs if they win out.
Yeah, they're not winning out.
I don't even think they have to win out and they can still make playoffs.
I mean, they definitely
win like 4
could,
in the next 5 or something.
No.
We've seen every time they played a good team, they've lost, besides the Cowboys.
Yeah, and that was something else.
Yep.
But I mean, it also Aaron Rodgers is playing with a broken thumb right now.
Yeah,
so
but it's like that's also stupid.
And
like
his ribs.
you put him in and
And
he's
his ribs
hurt, and he's gonna just lose a
And
game.
he's still better than 90% of the quarterbacks.
I just think you
True.
should start Jordan Love this week, and then they go into a bye week. So you're giving at least Rodgers some time.
Yeah,
You know,
maybe.
come back. And I think Jordan Love can beat the Bears. Like the Bears they're very injury. Their defense isn't they're okay, their defense, but it's not that good.
No,
I don't know
with the
if
injuries now.
Yeah, I don't know if Justin Fields is playing this week.
It's another tough spot for the Packers because like you did use a first round pick on him.
Yeah, I think you should
And
at
haven't
least
seen
have
anything.
him play. You gotta see what you have.
But like
'cause-
if he plays this week and looks good, and you go into a bye, what do you do when you come back?
Yeah.
It's also
That's another thing.
First of all, it was just a stupid pick to begin with.
Oh yeah, but that's like that's
It
a
is.
conversation for like years ago.
Yeah.
But I
But
think Matt LaFleur says that if Rodgers is healthy, then
I
he's
also
fine.
definitely think Rodgers is like definitely gone from the Packers after this year at least, whether it's
He's
retirement
just got
or
a
someone
big
else.
contract though.
Yeah,
but
for
they
3
like,
years.
No, but they like did it to a way where like he could leave if he wanted to.
I
That's
guess.
I
what
wouldn't
they
be
did it for, like, there's
surprised,
an
but-
out. They made it for a way for like there's an out after the year if he wants him to.
I
So
don't
it's
think
like
he's going to.
I
I think he wants that
think
money.
he's retiring.
It makes sense for him to
I
retire.
100% think he's retiring, but
and he's gonna get a job with the NFL doing something.
we'll go back to Jeopardy.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that could work too.
and I think he's still guaranteed a lot of the money. It's not like
Yeah, they definitely
no,
guarantee
he
him a
is.
lot. But it's like I
So-
remember them putting someone in the contract where if he wanted to leave after this year, he could.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
don't think he should retire.
I don't think the Packers
don't
are the right
think
spot
so,
for
too.
him anymore either.
yeah, I think he should go to a different team.
What about Tampa when Brady?
No, I've always thought Tampa made a lot of sense. We've talked about that
Yeah.
on here before, actually.
Yeah, that would
I
be
said
a
because like
pretty
I
good landing
also
spot.
think Brady's done in Tampa.
Yeah, where's
whether
he
he
going, Rup?
Whether I mean I think he's going to the 49ers.
Yeah, I think he's going to San Francisco.
I think he's retiring.
I think he's retiring or going somewhere else. I think he's done in Tampa. I think you can
Yeah,
tell
I
he
get
doesn't want to be there anymore. I think you can also tell Rodgers doesn't want to be in Green Bay anymore.
Yeah, and Rodgers has hated LaFleur forever.
That's what I'm saying. Like you could tell there's something there. You could tell he's not happy with the receivers. So
Yeah, and that front office has not drafted a first-round receiver for him ever. And then obviously Devontae Adams, one of the best receivers in the league, let him walk in free agency. Or was it a trade?
no, it was a trade.
Trade.
No,
Yeah, and then
literally what happened with that was Rodgers re-signed like days before, and they were like, "Yeah, we still where Devontae like is staying because they tagged him," and then they traded him like 3 days later.
Yep.
So you obviously was. I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers wasn't happy about that either.
Yeah,
If that happened before, Rodgers wasn't signing again.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
and he's been pretty vocal about it too.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
not one to just like, oh yeah, no, things are going great.
no.
He's like telling he's also just like a terrible leader.
He's also
and-
just like a terrible person.
Yeah, that's
Did you see
also
that what
true.
he said to
It is
Deshaun
true.
Kaiser?
No, I don't think so.
So like the Packers drafted Deshaun Kaiser years ago. I don't know if you're gonna want to keep this in,
Yeah, okay. Let's
but
see.
there was like a report the other day that the Packers drafted Deshaun Kaiser, who obviously like wasn't anything great, ended up on the Browns, whatever. And the first thing Aaron Rodgers went up to him and said, he's like, "Yeah, did you believe that 9/11 actually happened?"
What?
No, I'm serious. It's an actual thing. He
Um,
literally
that,
went up to Deshaun Kaiser and was like, "Yeah, do you believe in 9/11?"
Wow.
that guy is just something else, man.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
Wow.
he's the guy's just like weird.
He
Yeah.
is. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if he did retire. So, like we were talking, Aaron Rodgers obviously playing with a broken thumb. His ribs are injured now. A couple other injuries that happened throughout the league. So, starting off with a Thursday night, obviously Von Miller goes down. Pretty bad looking injury. I was 100% sure that it was ACL, but thankfully just a lateral meniscus tear, and he could be out for 1 week.
Yeah,
the rest of the year.
I heard reports that he's gonna be definitely out tomorrow. It's too, but he's looking to play against the Jets.
Yeah, he said that on his podcast.
Yes, yeah.
Which is
What did
crazy.
Did Deion Dawkins get hurt in that game
Yeah,
too?
Deion Dawkins got hurt. He got his ankle rolled up on, the classic lineman, and then somebody just rolls up on the back of their ankles. They
Yeah.
do a little fall, and that's what
I
happened.
didn't even remember. I didn't even notice that one. I just saw he was out tomorrow too.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very, very big loss
Yeah, who's
because
the backup left tackle?
the backup left tackle is the backup right tackle, David Quessenberry, and
I'll tell you where Matt
Terrible.
Judon's going tomorrow.
yes, it's going to be very, very ugly. He was not good at all, and to go up against Judon is going to be a very tough task for him.
Yeah,
So that's going to hurt real bad.
Shucks.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm real torn up about that injury, man.
I bet you are. Some other injuries around the league. Obviously, Eddie Jackson. We touched on that before. Garrett Wilson just decided to snap the man's ankles.
I think he got hurt before that.
Yeah,
it wasn't him.
He made the catch, and then he made one move, and he was already down.
No,
like
when he
5
caught
feet
the ball,
away.
Eddie Jackson was already on the ground.
Yeah.
It's a foot injury anyway. But
Yeah.
The Jets turf is just terrible.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
MetLife turf.
MetLife. Everybody talks about it.
Yeah,
No,
we
the
all
turf
know it at this
monster
point.
just grabbed his ankle and snapped it.
Yeah.
We all
I mean,
know.
Travis Kelce was talking about it on their podcast he has with his brother, and he was like saying how the worst turf in the league is MetLife turf.
I don't know how. It doesn't make sense.
I heard it's because there's like a lot of like holes in it than other turf.
Don't they use MetLife for a lot of other stuff too?
Yeah, I mean it's like a brand new stadium, so
It's garbage.
They're getting a
Doesn't
new
look
turf.
like it.
Though. They're getting a new
It's-
turf. Though.
I
They
don't
are.
like that place.
that place
No.
sucks.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
Another Bears player that got hurt, Darnell Mooney, unfortunately out for the
Oh,
year.
yeah.
R.I.P. my
It's
boy.
tough.
Wasn't he like blocking and like
I don't
someone
know.
fell on his ankle and it like
He looked pretty
Yeah.
good the last couple of weeks too.
Really? Well,
has.
Fields stepped it up. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started running and then it opened up the passing game. So
Mhm. Yeah, Mooney's he's like a
I
very
always
good
liked him. I
player.
always thought he was cool. He
Yeah.
was a good player.
And Claypool hasn't looked too
Yeah.
great.
But I mean,
So
that's not
it's,
really that much
Claypool's
surprise to
garbage.
anybody.
Yeah. So it's going to be a tough loss for that receiving core.
yeah,
which
with
is
his
not
stupid
great.
eye black.
So another Bills guy coming back from injury, Trey White. Obviously tore his ACL on Thanksgiving last year. We saw him for 2 drives against the Lions. He looked very good. They actually did not look at him at all. That side of the field was just not there. But obviously coming back from a big injury, first time playing in a while, he didn't play much. It was very, very annoying, like towards the end of the game when Amon-Ra St. Brown was just absolutely chewing up the Bills defense and Trey White is just sitting on the sideline. And then Christian Benford gets hurt and he's on IR now. And Trey White's still
he's
sitting on the
terrible
sideline.
anyway.
it's smarter. Sit him for a little bit. Yeah, you might give up a few plays, but you need him for the long haul.
Yeah, it's definitely annoying though, but hopefully he'll continue to ramp it up, and by playoffs he'll be back full time. Another big injury: Aaron Donald missing his first career game.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't really. I mean, yeah, it's like he's missing his first career game, but like, is it a big injury?
I mean, the
Probably
team
just doesn't-
The Rams
sucks.
are terrible.
Yeah, he probably just doesn't want to play because he knows they're
He
gonna
must have
lose.
realized he's like, yeah, like I'm injured. Like maybe I'm retiring too. Who cares at
Yeah.
this point?
He almost did last year, so
Yeah.
he really should. The team's never going to be that great again. Stafford fell apart.
Yeah,
That's
and then
not a
Allen
surprise.
Robinson's on IR now too.
Not a surprise.
Cooper Kupp's
Yeah, he's still injured. So
yeah.
it's crazy. This is one of the worst Super Bowl hangovers we've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is like I think this is the worst.
Yeah.
It might be because it's not like they're just missing playoffs or something like we saw the Eagles a few years ago. They like just missed playoffs. This is one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah,
even
the Falcons,
with
the
Stafford and
Falcons
stuff.
after they lost too.
They were bad too.
They
But
were bad too.
even
Still not
so,
as bad as this.
yeah, this is
I
really
don't think
bad.
so.
This is McVay's
really
worst
bad.
year ever.
I mean, they're
Yeah,
also just
by a
having
lot.
an insane amount of injuries right now too.
Yeah, that's true. But it's definitely one of the worst Super Bowl hangovers we've seen.
Yeah, it's really bad.
And their future is just non-existent pretty much.
Oh yeah, but we all knew that. They basically like sold everything for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it worked. So
It definitely, it worked, but like they're gonna be bad for many years.
But you
Yes, they
still
are.
have a Super Bowl under your
You
belt.
do have a Super Bowl,
it's
yeah.
true.
So-
So there's not much you could say.
It's
Yeah.
more than you can say for the Bills at this point.
Why? Why do they have to catch a stray there? I don't understand.
Not the Jets.
And the
Wow,
Jets.
okay.
I saw that
And
opportunity,
the
bro.
Jets.
Well, the Jets have a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
1969.
Boom.
It still
Nice,
counts,
nice.
bro.
Yeah, but
It still counts.
So now we're going to talk about the whole Odell situation.
Yeah, he'll just never pick a team.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
been
he's going-
saying he's picking a team for like 3 years.
It's
He's
annoying
really
now.
dragging this on.
He's dragging it out really bad.
Yeah. Well, he has visits this week. He's going to see the Bills on Friday, Cowboys this weekend too, and Giants.
When you got to visit, it's not like you're going to college somewhere. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just want to see everything how the championship mentality is in those buildings.
I thought
There
he
is no
already-
championship mentality in the New Jersey for the Giants, though. I'll tell you that.
True.
Yeah.
yeah, he was never going
Luckiest
to the
team.
Giants.
I mean, it still kind of makes sense just because they need receiver help, but like
It
for his
does.
career, it doesn't make sense.
But they're
Yeah, no.
frauds. So
I
he's
still
not
think he's going to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think so
I-
too.
I think like everybody thinks it's the Cowboys, but we haven't heard a lot about the Bills recently,
horse.
at least.
It's
So-
it's also Odell, so you'll never know. You
Yeah.
know? He
Is
does
he
do
sleeping on a
weird stuff.
plane? Is he going to sign with the Cowboys? Who knows?
Is he sneaking alcohol into a plane?
Does he have
Yeah.
weird fetishes? You know?
Come on, man.
It's a valid point. So now we're going to talk about some teams. So first off, the Ravens, they choked again.
Shocker.
Who is at fault here? Lamar definitely missing some passes, but you have to put some blame on Harbaugh at this point.
Yeah, I think he deserves a lot of the blame.
His seat's getting a
When you're
little hot.
Yeah, when you're blowing leads like this often, it's on the coaches.
No.
I also blame management too. They don't have any weapons for Lamar.
Yeah, he's throwing to Deshaun Jackson.
You know,
It's not 2010.
But the thing is, he's still getting it done. They just
Yeah, it
can't
actually
hold the
was
lead.
weird.
That's
I
true.
mean, yeah, Lamar is still undoubtedly one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
He is, but that's another team that they really need to like invest in a receiver
Yeah,
and probably some running backs who don't get injured every time they step on the field.
true.
That'd be helpful. They should be in on Odell. I think that he's talking to them. I don't know if he has a visit scheduled, but
Yeah, I don't know. Mark Andrews has also been kind of disappointing this
he's
year.
been so bad these past couple weeks.
But he
Dropped
got
the
hurt,
touchdown
and
for
then he's not
he
the
got
same.
hurt, but then like he just hasn't looked like himself.
Yeah, he's just dropping
He
passes.
dropped
He's
a
just
wide
like,
open touchdown the other day for no reason.
I also don't understand why they got rid of Marquise Brown.
Yeah, actually, I don't know either.
For
True.
what?
I mean,
was that
they
for?
got a first round pick out of it. They didn't really use Marquise Brown, right? He was pretty
No,
much
they
just like
didn't.
run down the field and you're going to get it or you're not going to get it. But
Yeah,
as we
I
see
mean,
in
like, all
Arizona,
their
he's
skill players are just like I want to say injury prone. I'm going to say injury prone. They're all injury prone.
they are.
Yeah.
It's
You got
true.
Gus Edwards who plays like 3 games and then misses a while. J.K. Dobbins who's like just really hasn't done anything yet.
Mark Andrews hurts one.
Mark Andrews gets hurt
something 1 week, then the next week he hurt something
Bateman
else.
out for the entire year basically, and then you're throwing a Devin Duvernay and James Prochet.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Likely
what are you trying to do?
And likely got hurt too. And he was out for
Likely
the
got
Did he
hurt,
really?
then-
I didn't see that.
He did. And then you got
Wow.
Kenyon Drake, who's like, yeah, we know.
He's made out
We-
of glass.
We don't care about Kenyon Drake. The defense isn't amazing.
They have
Marcus
such
Peters is getting burnt for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he is one of those guys like kind of how Trayvon Diggs was last year. It's either he's getting a pick or he's letting up a
been like
99-yard
that his entire
touchdown.
Career.
Yeah,
Since he was
it's-
with the Chiefs, he was like that.
that's true. And he's still like a great corner, but
No, he is still good, but he definitely does get beat a lot.
yeah. And Marlon Humphrey's still great.
Yeah.
Obviously, they just traded for Roquan Smith.
They
They
just
still
don't know how
have-
to hold a lead. That's
Yeah,
basically what it
and
comes
which
down to.
it has to be coaching to me,
Yeah.
especially with
might
Lamar.
be.
If you're trying to kill clock, that's like the number one player you want to kill clock.
Or just like you're scoring early in games. Why are you stopping?
Yeah, just keep doing that.
Just
Yeah.
keep scoring.
If it's against like these crazy teams, like the Bills came back and they ended up winning. I think they were down by like 17 points.
Yeah, that's just because like the Ravens stopped playing offense for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously the whole entire Miami game, that was ridiculous.
That's another one. They scored like 35 points in like 20 minutes of game time and then didn't score again.
Yeah.
They also just let Tyreek Hill just run right by them and
Yeah,
not
that
do
did
anything
happen.
about it.
Yeah. But even those teams, those are great teams. You're losing to the damn Jaguars, man. Now, obviously, Trevor Lawrence has looked pretty good, but it's the Jaguars. They haven't looked
Yeah.
great like at all. They've had flashes, but
And they really rubbed it in their face, the Ravens, because they went for 2 and they
Yeah,
laughed
that
at
game.
them and they got it. But do you think that touchdown catch was a touchdown?
I think it was. His shin hit first.
oh
His
yeah,
shin
that
hit.
was very gray
His shin
area.
barely hit,
Yeah. Strange.
but it definitely did hit first.
I think
I
the
thought it
fact
was
that
good.
they
In
they
my
called
opinion, at
on the
least.
field that it was a touchdown, it was one of those like not enough to overturn things.
Oh,
I don't think. I think even if they called it no touchdown, I honestly think it was a touchdown.
It's
A
close.
shin counts as like 2 feet.
You know what
They've said
definitely
it
was a
for years.
touchdown? Hunter Henry.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was tough.
It was a touchdown. We don't need to talk
Definitely
about
was.
it.
Next team we're talking about, the Seahawks. Looks great starting the year. Geno Smith obviously having a career year out of nowhere. But on a 2-game losing streak now, they've looked pretty sloppy on all sides of the ball.
Yeah.
I feel like Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant have kind of like stopped playing at their elite level as they were.
Yeah, I mean, Geno still looks pretty good. Kenneth Walker, I'm pretty sure, is averaging like less than 2 yards per carry over his last like 3 or 4 games.
It's pretty bad.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know if people
And-
just like realize like, yeah, they're not really a great team. And just are playing differently against them.
Maybe
but I don't
found
know.
the weakness. Maybe
Yeah,
They were never supposed to be good anyway,
Yeah,
so
they
it's not
weren't.
like it's
they were supposed to be the worst team in the league. and
Yeah, that
they're
is
not.
true.
So
yeah. Then Geno just didn't write back.
Geno
I mean,
sucks.
Geno's
He's
still
so good,
playing
though.
well.
He is.
I know.
He's
Still
got some
playing
pretty
well.
costly turnovers though.
Yeah.
Like last week, that fumble in the red zone, he had a fumble and a pick this week. they're pretty costly turnovers that are hurting them. But I wouldn't say it's Geno's fault. He's still playing.
No, I
pretty
mean
well.
their defense let up 40 points, and you let
Their
up
defense is just
you
bad.
let up an 86-yard run in
overtime.
overtime is kind of bad.
Yeah,
Like that's bad.
Terrible.
It's different if they had like a drive and they scored, okay, but they literally one play.
Their defense has been bad the entire year.
There was like some games where they looked good for some reason. Like they looked good against the Cardinals.
The rest of the time, they're bad.
Yeah,
but
they're a bad defense.
I think they're just not as good as everyone like they looked. I think they kind of just caught a hot streak early.
Yeah,
and now they're kind of like, yeah.
But they still got a chance for the playoffs.
Oh no, they might still make playoffs, but still, like I don't expect them to go into the playoffs and do anything.
No.
But I mean, how that year was supposed to go for them, hey, that's a win in my book. And they're gonna have like a top 3 pick.
Yeah, that is true.
Denver.
They're gonna have two probably. No, they have 2 first-round picks. One will be early. One will probably be like mid.
Yeah, right now they're one game out of wild card. So
yeah, you got to see. I mean, they're just gonna have to. I'm pretty sure they play a couple good teams.
Yeah,
like they play the Niners again.
Play the Jets.
Yeah, I just know they play the Jets.
Yeah, they definitely have some pretty winnable games on their schedule coming up, though.
Yeah.
Like obviously next week you got the Rams, you got Carolina. Yeah, and then they got to play the Chiefs. So
Chiefs,
oh yeah,
49ers, Jets are tough.
They got some tough matchups, but I mean they're still in a pretty good spot considering how like bad the NFC has been.
That is true.
I mean, Washington could sweep the Giants and now knock them out.
That's also true. Speaking of which, let's go back to the Broncos. They have to be in the worst situation in the league.
Oh, true.
They have like
there.
It has to be
the worst.
Just like I'm saying, just they have like negative cap. They have a quarterback that's terrible. I think it's pretty safe to say that he's just not good anymore.
They're gonna have a new coach next year, and I don't know who's gonna want to be be that coach for that team. Honestly,
I mean they have good pieces, but if Russ is bad now, then that team is just in hell for years.
Yeah. I heard that they can get out of the contract somehow. I don't know how, but
but would they though? That's the real question.
I mean, you kind of have Gino.
I think they should, but like if they somehow got out of the contract, it probably would still hurt them
big time. But
yeah,
so it probably isn't worth it. It probably put them into like worse cap hell.
I don't know. Everyone was saying Russell Wilson's gonna be MVP. Denver's gonna win the division, and it's like, what happened?
That offense is it's atrocious. It's
really
maybe
bad.
The worst offense in the league.
I think it is.
Actually.
Yeah, I think it is.
Russell Wilson has more bathrooms in his house than touchdown passes.
He does.
That's true.
I love that counter. Yeah. He's at what, like 9 touchdown passes and 12 bathrooms or something?
Something like that.
8. Yeah, I mean, he's getting close, but he might end the year with more bathrooms.
I mean, he was injured for a game or two, but still.
Yeah, I'm not giving him a pass.
He can be at least throwing 2 touchdown passes a game.
He's not getting a pass. He's bad. The whole team is bad.
Defense is okay.
Defense is pretty good.
Then they let Sam Darnold do that to them. So
that is also true.
I don't know how you let Darnold roll into the end zone like he's on fire.
Yeah, that
was so funny. They just didn't touch him. And Surtain has looked terrible the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, he has. He definitely has.
Gets burned by Devontae.
He probably doesn't care anymore because the team is terrible.
Yeah. And you saw like one of the guys on defense just yelled at him.
Oh yeah, at Russ.
Go.
The video running off the field, and then I guess Russ said something, and the guy turns and just screams in his face.
Broncos country.
Yeah.
It's probably.
And then Russell's like, he's just trying to motivate the offense to do better, but no, he's like blaming you.
Come motivate them.
The dude's corny. Like he's not motivating at all. He's the most cringe player I've ever seen. I thought he was just like this really cool, like hardworking dude. But then last year when he had the injury and he's like doing the 2-minute drill by himself on the field, I was like, dude, there's something wrong up there.
Yeah.
He probably used to be like that, and then he just like became weird for no reason.
But we heard like Richard Sherman and other players talk about how he was never really a leader, how I guess we thought he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Richard Sherman doesn't like him.
A lot of people are like 50-50 on Russell.
It's like people don't like Kyler Murray right now either.
That guy sucks. Stick to card.
Yeah. Or he should have gone to baseball. Next topic we're talking about, the Saints. Is it time for them to just blow it all up?
They have
to start a rebuild?
They have to.
They're in a pretty bad spot. The only argument against that is how bad their division is.
That is true, but they are really bad.
They don't have a QB.
They have to get rid of Michael Thomas.
That
Yeah.
I think, regardless,
to.
even if they still want to win
Yeah.
now, I would just
They
get
have to get rid of him.
Mara's going to be suspended next year, I believe. So.
Maybe they might have to
Yeah.
get rid of Cam Jordan too,
Yeah,
just for cap purposes.
they're literally in cap hell. They've been negative every single year for like 10 years.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I
somehow skate
I was
by.
always under the like impression that wasn't allowed.
Yeah, but apparently it is.
Somehow it is, because I'm pretty sure like every offseason they're minus like 80.
Yeah, literally every single
They're
time.
like, and then somehow it ends up they're like positive again. I'm like that definitely does not add up.
And then they get guys like Jarvis Landry and Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, and like I'm like sitting there like I don't understand, because they don't do anything.
Yeah, they
It's not
signed
like they
two
make,
big
like-
safeties, really.
Like you can restructure cap for 50 years if you want. I guess. I mean, like people are minus 30 and restructuring cap, and they're like plus 25, and then the next year they do the same thing, and it's like doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
The
like,
only
I think they're just at a
for-
point where they have to start shipping people off.
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't be
then once
opposed to
you ship those big names off, you have no one.
Yeah, that is definitely
So-
true, but you gotta you have to give her the money somehow. Michael Thomas
It's-
also is like on like the third straight lost season.
I mean, even if you're going to trade him, who wants that guy? And what are they
Somebody will still
realistically?
take him.
But what are you going to get? Like a
You're not going to
seventh
get a
round
lot
pick,
for him.
maybe?
You're not going to get a lot for him.
Yeah. I mean, he's
For a guy who
obviously great
basically
player,
hasn't
but
played in like 3 years. There's no way you get anything more than like probably like a mid-round pick for him.
yeah, if you're lucky.
True.
Yeah, like it just doesn't make sense to trade anything high for a guy who physically can't stay on the field.
Tough situation to be in.
Yep.
All right, now, obviously, all fans of teams in the AFC East, this question hurts because the answer is yes for me. Are the Dolphins?
I think I asked this one, didn't I?
Yeah, are the Dolphins
It hurt
legit
me.
Super Bowl contenders? I
Yeah,
say
I
yes.
think I think you have to say yes at this point.
Yeah.
I can't
I
keep
don't-
denying it anymore.
Tyler, you
I
don't
don't-
agree?
I don't know. I don't know
Yes.
how they'll do in the playoffs. I think they're
Okay,
a very
yes.
good offense, but I don't know. I don't think their
That's-
defense is that
That's
good.
definitely fair, and it's also like the only argument I can find against it is the only good team Tua has beat is the Ravens.
But
I
he's
ju-
been crapping on other teams.
He
so-
has, but it's all bad
So-
teams, so it's like
Yeah. I think they're definitely playoff contenders. I just don't know about Super Bowl contenders.
I don't know. It's just I'd like to see them play a couple of good teams. Like they play the
Yeah.
Niners this week. They play the Chargers. They play the Bills again. They
Yeah.
play the Patriots again.
They play the Jets again.
They actually got some good games coming up. So if they like smoke everyone through this, then okay, fair enough. But
True.
like when they're beating up on teams like the Texans,
the Bears,
the Bears, the
Lions.
Browns, the Lions, like congratulations, Bailey Zappi did the same thing.
Yeah, but
So
I think Tua is actually legit. It
I-
hurts
I
so
definitely
much.
do think he is good
he is. Yeah,
at
I
this
think
point,
he's good. But
but it's like we talked about earlier. This is what's happening to a lot of guys when you give them a superstar wide receiver.
Yeah. But they have
I don't-
two.
And
He-
they
yeah.
have two.
Yeah.
And Mike McDaniel is a very good coach.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
that guy.
He's a little
I hear
cringy,
ya.
but
He
Yeah.
definitely is a little cringe.
Clock.
yeah. He's just screaming clock.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's
a
a
little bit of a weirdo,
nice-
but
And telling Justin Fields to stop running the ball. Like,
he
Yeah.
definitely is a little bit of a weirdo.
That was
but
hilarious, though.
It's very clear that he definitely knows what he's doing.
It sucks, man.
It
I
does.
just think if
I
like
like it.
Chiefs versus the Dolphins in the playoffs, like
That's
I
going to be a
would still take
I
great matchup.
100%
Yeah.
want that to happen.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean I'll still take Chiefs over them.
I would still pick the Chiefs just because it's Mahomes. I'm picking Mahomes over Tua.
Yeah.
But would I be surprised if the Dolphins beat the Chiefs? No, because I
I
don't
mean-
think the Chiefs can really cover Tyreek and Jalen
Even
Waddle, in my
Bills
opinion.
over Dolphins in the playoffs. I'm taking the Bills over the Dolphins.
Yeah, but that's different because the Bills'
I know.
defense is definitely a lot better.
yeah.
And like we saw when the Bills and
Eventually.
the Dolphins played earlier
Yeah.
in the year, it's not like Waddle and Tyreek didn't go off. It was just the Bills team was dying in the heat.
That is true. There were so many just
So-
weird things that happened in that game too.
There's also
Yeah.
like the 3 games they lost is when Tua didn't play. And he also was losing in that game against the Bengals before
Yeah.
he like got injured on the field.
When
Mhm.
did he leave? What quarter?
It's like the second quarter, I think.
Okay, so
And they were down some, and he just threw that really bad pick that game. It's just I want to see him play some good defenses. And see
Yeah,
what's
I
happening.
think especially
yeah.
going against the 49, I think that's gonna be a great game.
That's
Mm.
like literally the best defense he can play, pretty much. So we'll see. But if they start running through these teams, then okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Next team we're talking about is the Bengals. Obviously, great team. Just went to the Super Bowl. They have a lot of contracts that are going to need to be renewed soon. So what are they going to do? They're going to have to let somebody walk or trade somebody.
I think it's T Higgins.
Yeah, T Higgins is gone.
I think I mentioned this the other day to you.
Yeah, you did.
For the Patriots, I'm always looking into like guys who are going to like possibly be traded or stuff like that. And like the list isn't that big. A lot of people got paid. DJ Moore, T. Higgins, guys like that. So it's like you have Burrow coming up soon. Obviously, Burrow's getting a massive contract.
Yeah.
So that's going to take a lot of your money. Jamar Chase, a lot of receivers these days want new contracts after like their third year. That's kind of
especially
like how
if you're
it goes.
coming out and just being elite immediately.
So like Jamar Chase, this is his second year. After next year, he's probably going to want to start pushing for a contract. So it's like then T. Higgins after this year, it's his third year. So he also wasn't a first round pick, so they don't have the 5th-year option for him. So it's like they're going to have to make a decision after this year, whether they want to try and re-sign him or ship him off. You probably could get some pretty good picks for him. He's a very good receiver.
He can be the number one on a
he's a number one on a lot of other teams. So
most other. Yeah.
And then it's like he's not just gonna say like, yeah, I'm gonna take a pay cut just because I'm not the number one receiver. He's gonna want to be paid like a number one.
Yeah,
understandable. So I think he's definitely the guy because you're not gonna let Jamar Chase go.
No, especially like that connection.
No.
You also got Jesse Bates in free agency.
He's gone, I think.
I think he's gone too.
Yeah, I feel like they would have figured something out by now.
And I think Tyler Boyd's also a free agent around the same time too.
He's not going to be a lot of money.
He's not going to get a lot of money, so that's why I'm thinking
be
like maybe they try and trade T. Higgins for a first or whatever, and try and bring back Tyler Boyd because we've seen Tyler Boyd's a more than capable receiver.
Yeah.
So I think T. Higgins is just kind of like the odd man out.
They have a window for these next few years where they do have these guys on rookie contracts where they could bring in other guys because
and then also
you have the
it's
luxury of.
It's also like you trade T. Higgins for a first-round pick. There's a bunch of good receivers in the draft. You could just take another one.
It's true.
I thought this year was the weakest receiver draft in years.
No, there's like 5 or 6 pretty good ones.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a lot of depth.
No, there's not. It's a lot of top guys, and then kind of like goes down.
Yeah,
like you got Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston.
Throw Hyde up there. It's been great this year.
Hyde up there. You can throw him up there.
Sure.
Zay Flowers,
Kayshon Boutte,
I guess. Kayshon, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of top guys. There's a couple other ones who are like mid rounds, but that's usually how it goes.
All right, so some unforeseen technical difficulties. So me and Rocco are going to close out this episode.
My luck.
So we're going to go over a couple top performers from this week. Starting off, got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Obviously, they did not win the game, but he had a pretty good game against the Bills. Another guy, Nick Chubb. They did win that game. He had over 100 yards. Just Nick Chubb stuff.
Yeah, the huge.
T. Higgins. Jamar Chase is out. He stepped up big time. Had a crazy game. James Conner, who started the year off very, very slow. Just coming back from injury. He had like 120 rushing yards, 30 receiving yards, got a touchdown.
Yeah, I thought he was going to lose his job, but he's,
And I mean, Benjamin looked better than him at times.
I know.
And they cut him. And Jalen Hurts had a crazy game on the ground. He had like 157 rushing yards. He didn't run that much the past couple of weeks, and he's just like, oh yeah, I could still do this. Justin Fields is good.
Just have to show everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm better. That's it.
Yeah. Another guy for the Eagles, Miles Sanders, had a great game.
He did.
Yeah, sometimes he does that, and sometimes he just does nothing.
Usually he doesn't, but
Yeah,
the times
usually.
he does that, it's usually against me in fantasy football. So
Yes, me too. I also got the worst of that, and Rup did too. It was pretty painful for all of us. Chris Godwin, he's starting to find the end zone now. He was always getting the targets and the catches.
He's got 12 receptions this week. It's just nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So.
And Mike Evans has been mediocre. They have not been on the same page at all recently.
Yeah.
So
I'm blaming it on Brady. So.
I mean, yeah, but it's also weird because he does look good when he's throwing it to Godwin.
I know.
And Julio too. So something's weird in that whole offense.
Todd Bowles, that's it.
Todd Bowles is what's weird with that offense.
Yep.
Yeah. Next guy, Zay Jones.
I didn't see much, but he did have a great game.
He had like 150 yards, I think, which is just crazy.
For Zay, yeah.
Yeah.
He's never going to do that ever again. So
no. You know what he will do? Jump out of a window naked, probably.
True.
Yeah,
very true.
That guy's a head case, but he had a great game. We're going to go over the MVPs of the week. I'm a little biased, but my MVP of the week is Ed Oliver on Thanksgiving. Von Miller gets hurt. Obviously, there's a bunch of injuries. Greg Rousseau is out. AJ Epinesa is out. So somebody's got to step up. Ed Oliver did that. He had a sack. He split a double team, forced a fumble, recovered that fumble, and he also had a safety. A little biased, but great game. AFC Defensive Player of the Week, the works.
Because he got the AFC Player of the Week, you have to, give it to him. But
yeah, I usually try to stay away from picking a Bills guy, but he had a great game. Can't deny it.
See, I'm a Jet fan, but I'm not going with a Jets player. My MVP is David Njoku. He had a crap game. His final was 5 receptions for 29 yards. But with that 12-yard touchdown reception, he kept the team in. And without him, they were not winning that game.
Yeah, that was fourth down. That was the game right there.
It really was. And it was a crazy catch.
It was wild.
That's my MVP for sure.
So for Rup's MVP, I wish he was here for it because it was the Vikings that absolutely torched his team.
Oh, yeah.
Happened to me too. It's going to happen to you this week.
Maybe.
So
it will.
We'll see. But Justin Jefferson, he went 1 for 1 passing for 11 yards. Very weird. He had 9 catches for 139 yards and a touchdown. He's been just crazy this year. It's like pretty safe to say that he's the top receiver in the league.
Clear cut number 1. That's it.
I mean, the only argument's pretty much Tyreek. And I mean,
it's true.
Diggs, there's still an argument for Diggs, but I don't
Not
see
as
Diggs.
much.
Yeah, because Justin Jefferson takes over games.
Yeah. And he's like the real only weapon on that team, really.
Yeah. I mean, they got Hawkinson, but he's not like a down the field.
No.
And Dalvin Cook is still good, but it's just a completely different.
Great. Tyreek has Waddle on the other side. It's like you got to watch out for both of them. Tyler's MVP was obviously Mike White, which he did have a fantastic game. He had 6 incompletions. He was 22 for 28, 315 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns. Coming from what we've seen with Zach Wilson to then see 300 yards in a game, it's nice.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I get his MVP. I understand it.
Yes.
Sure. So
let's see if he could keep it up because he did the same thing last year. Did not keep it up.
Yeah, he definitely did not. So
yeah,
I'm hoping, but I don't know. Vikings team is it's tough, but
yeah. So James' MVP of the week, Josh Jacobs. He's just on a tear this season. Contract year, Josh Jacobs is top 5 running backs of all time, I think.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And then he's going to get his contract and he's going to do nothing.
Yeah.
He
had a crazy game. 33 carries, 229 yards, averaging 6.9 yards per carry. Obviously, the 80-something yard touchdown in overtime to win the game.
Yep.
Then he had 6 receptions for 74 yards. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns as well.
Freaking nuts.
Just
he won
crazy game.
80% of the fantasy owners that had him. He got the win for him.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that was against me. Just saying. Thanks, Carly, if you're watching.
It happens. It happens. Yeah, he dropped, 50?
Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah. And now he's leading the league in rushing yards.
Yep.
It's crazy.
That's true. Well, good game, Josh Jacobs.
Yes.
Still hate him, but
Yes. Reason we hate him is because a few years ago, he was out, then wasn't out. And then he's like, yeah, I'm not playing. And then he plays and screwed fantasy owners. And
literally said, screw your fantasy teams. I don't care. Well, screw you, Jacobs.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see what kind of contract he gets because he's playing like one of the best running backs, if not the best running back this season. Yeah. It's crazy to see.
Very strange.
So we'll see.
It's not going to hold up. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. But
I'll put all my money on it. But
it's also like we've seen him do things this year that like he hasn't done. Like he just gets the one rushing touchdown last week. He breaks through a couple tackles and then just has a speed burst. It looks like the video sped up.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen that from him
ever
since like Bama. So it's going to be weird to see. He's definitely a great running back though. And I'd love to have him. Definitely better than Devin Singletary.
Yeah, there's a lot of people better than Singletary, but Singletary is good.
Getting right into the predictions. Talk about Singletary. We got the Bills and Patriots Thursday night. A lot on the line for me and Rupp here.
The loser's wearing the other jersey?
I'm not going to be able to find a Patriots jersey, but he's going to wear the Bills jersey.
Okay.
It's not going to matter.
I think Bills are winning. So
yeah, we all got the Bills except for Rupp, obviously.
Of course.
It's rocking with the Patriots. But I think it's going to be a great game, though. Patriots defense is very good. Mac Jones has been looking pretty good. Bills have been pretty sloppy. Josh, obviously, red zone interceptions been plaguing the offense. And divisional game. Anything can happen.
The spread is 3.5 favoring the Bills, but
it's close.
I don't know. I think Bills are going to win by like 10 points. So
they usually turn it up for the Patriots.
Yeah.
I just saw that since joining the Bills, Stephon Diggs has the most yards, the most touchdowns, and the most receptions against the Patriots out of any receiver in the league. Obviously, it's a little, I mean, he gets to play them twice a year, but he loves playing the Patriots. And they just signed John Brown back. And we know that they did. He's back. And
that's out of nowhere.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a good game either way, though. Obviously, a lot riding on that game. The Bills have not won a divisional game yet this season.
That is true.
0-2. So it is definitely a very, very big game for
They
them.
have the Bills have 2 wins over the Patriots, so they're safe. They're definitely going to split. I think the Bills are still going to sweep them, but that's just me.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
but I mean, if the Patriots end up winning this game, they're in a very, very good spot for playoffs.
Yeah, if they beat the Bills, I think they're knocking the Jets out.
Yeah, probably. And if the Bills lose this one, they might be second in the division. Losing 3 divisional games is terrible, and you actually might not be able to come back from that.
Yeah,
especially with how great the Dolphins have been. So
yeah, and just by chance, if the Jets beat the Vikings, Bills are anyway. We'll get to that though.
Yeah, we'll see. Next game, we got the Steelers and Falcons. Me and Rup are rocking with the Steelers. Everyone else is rocking with the Falcons.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. I hate the Falcons. Their offense is just stupid. Marcus Mariota is terrible. He's one of the worst decision makers ever.
Yeah, but Pickett. I
Yes.
am not a fan of Pickett at all. I always loved the Steelers. Mike Tomlin, fantastic coach.
He's a good
Pickett
coach.
just sucks, and I hate his attitude, and I hope they lose. That's it.
Okay.
So,
Well, yeah.
But Falcons are trash.
Yeah,
so
they are.
I wouldn't, I can see them losing.
Especially with TJ Watt back, that defense just decides to actually do well with him. So
True.
it might be too
really
much.
does change the team completely.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, obviously he's a great player, but I've never seen one player impact a team that much.
Yeah, it's true.
It's wild. So that's why I'm rocking with the Steelers. But I can see this going either way. It's not like the Steelers are a powerhouse.
The spread's 1, so
Yeah, it's pretty much just a pick 'em.
Yeah.
Next game, we got the Packers and the Bears. So me, Tyler, and James are rocking with the Packers. But I feel like this is all contingent on the quarterbacks because,
100%.
I mean, Fields is hurt. He might not play. Rodgers is hurt. He might not play.
Yep.
So this is really up in the air right now.
Yeah.
If Justin Fields is healthy, I think I might be rocking with the Bears, regardless of if Rodgers plays or not.
100% agree. So,
But Rodgers does own them. So
yep.
it's tough.
I think Fields could get it done.
And I mean, even if he plays, it's going to be weird to see if he's still going to run the ball as much, if he doesn't want to take that much contact to his shoulder.
Yeah. But
So it's gonna be
without
tough.
his running, he's nothing.
Yes.
And I think he knows that. He should know that.
I think if Rodgers plays, I would go with the Packers. But if Jordan Love is under center, even if Trevor Siemian starts with the Bears, I'm still going with the Bears because Trevor Siemian didn't even look that bad.
I mean, the Jets defense is much better.
I mean, we just don't have enough information on that game yet, pretty much, to make it.
Exactly. Once we know the quarterback situation, then we can put a final, bet in. But
so next game, we got the Jags and the Lions. James and Rupp are rocking with the Jags. The rest of us are rocking with the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions have just looked great these past few weeks, even against the Bills. Even though they ended up losing, they could have won that game.
100%.
They looked like a completely different team recently.
Yeah, that coach Campbell really turned that team around in the past few weeks. I think Lions for sure. Jamal Williams is going to probably get another touchdown or 2.
Yeah, but only have 2 yards on those touchdowns.
Exactly. But Jaguars, I mean, if they played like they did last week, I don't know. Still going Lions, though. I have faith.
We spoke about it before. Trevor Lawrence has looked very good these past couple of weeks, especially last week.
True.
So, I mean, if he looks like that again, and that was even with ETN didn't even play that game. So that was a whole part of the offense that wasn't there.
Yeah,
so I could definitely see it. This was another one that I could see.
He did a great job, though.
He
really did. He filled in pretty nice.
Next game, got the Jets and the Vikings. Everybody's rocking with the Vikings, including you, except for Tyler.
Of course. No, I'm a realistic Jet fan. I think the Jets are good. With Mike White, the team could really turn around. But I don't think anyone's covering Justin Jefferson. I know they're probably going to put Reed and a safety on him and everything, but the Vikings are a better team than the Jets. And the spread's only 3.5, which I was really surprised about. But I see the Vikings winning. I think that Mike White is going to have his usual bad game, and that's it.
If he can keep up what he did last week, I would choose the Jets 100%. I just haven't seen enough.
If he can throw for 2 and change, then I think the Jets could win.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be throwing 150 yards or something, one touchdown, maybe 2 picks. I think that's a Mike White stat right there. Yeah. Lock it in, unfortunately. But
I mean, it's not a great defense, so anything could happen. Plus, we got to see what's happening with their running backs. James Robinson was like a healthy scratch for some reason.
I don't know. I mean, Bam Knight, whatever. He did a great job.
Yeah, he did look very well.
Over 100 scrimmage yards. I think that's the first time since 2000 something that a first game that actually went over 100 scrimmage yards as a rookie. But James Robinson has to get back in there. He was fantastic on the Jaguars. So he's got to get his stuff together. He's got to learn the playbook. He's got to get out there.
I was very confused about that.
Yeah, agreed.
And apparently he was too.
Yeah, big time. And now that Michael Carter's hurt, he's definitely got to be out there.
Next game, we got the Commanders and the Giants. So James and Rocco rocking with the Giants. The rest of us got the Commanders. This is another one. This is a pretty good matchup. This is a lot on the line for the NFC East.
Yeah.
I could see it going either way.
Yep.
I've just not seen enough from the Giants recently.
Yeah, I hate the Giants, and I just think they're going to get lucky somehow.
Yeah, they do win games.
I don't know how.
But
Yeah.
recently, Saquon hasn't been having good games,
Yeah.
and they haven't been doing well. So
True. And Commanders have been looking pretty good.
they have.
So
And I think Chase Young might be back. Not sure, potentially. So that could definitely play a big role.
true.
But like we were talking about earlier, the team just does better when Heineke plays.
Yeah.
And we've seen that since he started.
Heineke is 2-0 against the Giants.
Mm.
So I don't know.
They do have a pretty good defense. They
Yeah.
haven't looked super fantastic these past couple of weeks. I mean, the team as a whole is just kind of fallen off the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is
100%.
still making some silly plays. He's every now and then he's making some good plays though.
Yeah.
It's usually to when the guy is just wide open.
He's still not the answer.
No, definitely not. Next game, we got the Titans and the Eagles. Rupp is rocking with the Titans. The rest of us got the Eagles.
The Titans, every playoff team as of right now that they played, they lost to. The Bills, Chiefs, Giants, and Bengals. They only beat crappy teams. But the flip side, the Eagles have looked like crap the past 3 weeks. But the Eagles are just a better team. They'll
Yeah.
do something to stop Derrick Henry. Without Derrick Henry, Tannehill's going to have to do something. He usually doesn't have a good game.
2 weeks ago, he looked really good against
Really
the
good.
Packers. Eagles' run defense has not been great, which is a recipe for disaster when you're facing Derrick Henry. But they just signed Ndamukong Suh.
True.
They just signed, I forgot who else. They signed some other old dude. And they just activated Jordan Davis off of IR. So
Okay.
that's definitely going to be huge for them to stop Derrick
Yeah.
Henry.
But the Titans aren't going to keep up with the score. The
Yeah.
Eagles are going to run away, I think.
I wouldn't be too surprised just because, like you said, that the Eagles have not looked really great these past
Yeah.
couple weeks. They just lost to the Colts 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I hope the Eagles lose. Just saying. At least-
We see that Titans jersey peeking out.
Yeah,
So-
I got a whole Titans wall over there. So
Yeah.
the fiance loves the Titans. So
Yeah, a little biased, but it's
yeah,
okay. Next game, we got the Broncos and the Ravens. Obviously, the Ravens have choked many leads, and
not against the Broncos.
they just can't. The
It's
Broncos
not
are
happening.
terrible. They are the
Yep.
worst offense in the league.
Yep.
Their defense has been okay, but Patrick Surtain, like we said, has not looked great these past few weeks.
I think the Broncos should make a trade. I know it's past the trade deadline, but work something out that they can get back Drew Lock because there's
Yes.
a better freaking team with Lock than Russ.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm taking Ravens by 17.
Hackett just said that they're not really looking for a QB change right now. Who even is the backup? I literally don't know.
I don't know.
Whoever it is
Ripien
terrible,
or
but-
something. Is he even still there?
It might be Brett
Ripon?
Ripon.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Still terrible, but I mean,
Uh-huh.
I actually would not be opposed to that though. Russ is
Yeah.
terrible. He's looked
Yeah.
bad every single game he's played. But I mean, if the coach said they're not doing that, they're not doing that.
Well, that coach should be
And-
fired.
He should be fired. He is
Yeah.
one of the guys that his seat is extremely hot.
Oh yeah.
Next game, we got the Browns and the Texans. Deshaun Watson, he's back. He's a terrible person, but he's back, and he's a great football player. So we're all rocking with the Browns.
So we think.
I mean, he hasn't
he
played
has-
in 2 years.
Yep. And he looked like crap during the preseason.
That is true. But it is the Texans.
I would laugh
Oh my God, it'd be so,
so
funny.
hard
It'd be
if
so funny.
he came back and lost.
And
To his old
they're
team.
definitely tanking now at this point.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
But
Kyle Allen starting.
I think they're going to do whatever they can to beat Deshaun Watson, though.
Yes.
Whatever they can.
I would laugh very hard if that happened.
Yep.
And he still could be rusty, or he could just absolutely go off because he hates the Texans. It's going to be interesting to see that offense because, I mean, obviously they're not going to do anything this year. They're pretty much already out of playoff contention, but
Yeah. Are they
be-
that far off?
I'm pretty sure they're like, what, 4-7? So,
They're
they were
4
like-
and yeah, they're
yeah, they're pretty much out of it at this point.
yeah.
Even if they
It's-
win out, there's probably not even a shot that they make it.
Well, there's a bunch of teams 4-7, and then you got 2 teams that are 6-5, which is Patriots and Chargers, and then the Jets, Bengals at 7-4. So anything's possible, but yeah, it's probably not happening
It's not looking good for them.
unless Watson comes back lights out.
Which is always a
So,
possibility because I
it
mean
is.
he's great at least.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I mean Chubb's obviously gonna just go off against the Texans.
Yep,
The Texans
for
are just
sure.
bad in every single facet of the game, and they haven't. Damian Pierce has not had a good game in 3
Yeah.
weeks.
What happened?
I mean, granted they've been down, and he's not really
The
a
game
receiving
plan, yeah.
back, but at the same time he's fantastic.
yeah,
So that's another. They're tanking. They can't use
Yep.
their best player. They're tanking.
true.
Next game, we got the Seahawks and the Rams. The Rams just they're in shambles. I mean, we say it every week, but it keeps getting worse and worse for them. Allen Robinson IR, Aaron Donald already ruled out.
Yep.
I mean, Stafford might be done for the year. We don't know. Yeah, we're all rocking with the Seahawks.
Yeah, big time.
Pretty safely.
The Rams don't have anything going for them.
Yeah.
Their starting running back is what, Akers or Williams? What the hell are those guys? Receivers, who now? Van Jefferson? Whoa.
Ben Skoranek.
Scary.
Yes, absolutely. And
Not
Bryce Perkins is terrible.
Yeah.
He's god awful.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a pretty good game against the Chiefs. The defense isn't atrocious. They're not great.
They still have good pieces. It's just.
But now, especially with
like
Aaron Donald being out and stuff.
Exactly. And Ramsey still sucks.
Yeah, he's getting burned all the time.
Really
He ended up
is.
having he had pretty good plays when he was guarding Kelsey. He was pretty much guarding Kelsey the whole time, and Kelsey didn't have that big of a game.
Yeah.
But there were some plays where he just put Ramsey in a blender, made him look stupid. And like we said, there hasn't been a single cornerback this year who has looked great all the time. And the closest thing I would say to that is probably Sauce, but he kind of got exposed a little bit last week. What, didn't somebody moss him?
No, that was DJ Reed in the end zone.
DJ Reed definitely got mossed in the end zone.
Yeah.
But
the only time Sauce really got burned was against Diggs. That
Yeah.
first play against Diggs, but it never happened again.
And that was,
it might
there
have
was
happened
definitely
last
a
week.
miss.
I don't remember.
There was definitely something with him.
Claypool, the big catch on the side, I think. Actually.
I think, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Claypool's one catch. Whoa.
Yes.
Fantastic. Who cares?
Yeah,
Sauce is
but
fantastic.
he is great.
He
He's
could be. I'm a realistic Jet fan. He could be the next best corner in the league, but it's early. So
He could be the best corner in the league right now. I don't even think that's a stretch.
I know. I think he might be.
Next game, we got the Finns and the 49ers. This is going to be a fantastic matchup.
Yep.
I am very excited to see how the Dolphins do against a very good defense and overall how they do against a very good team. The Niners have looked amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Eli Mitchell, he's out for pretty much the season.
McCaffrey's a little banged up too.
Yeah, he has knee discomfort or something. I don't know. But even without McCaffrey, it's still a great team. Hopefully McCaffrey plays. But that being said, I'm rocking with the Niners along with Tyler and Rupp. You and James obviously have the Dolphins.
Okay. I think the Dolphins just going to outscore them. And I think Dolphins just all around are a great team. And they're going to finally prove that they can beat the good teams.
Even if they beat them by one score, if they beat them at all, there is an argument for them to be the best team in the league.
Up there.
I would say so.
Yeah.
If that offense looks as good as it usually does against the Niners defense, I would say they're probably a top 3 offense. I mean, they might even be a top 3 offense right now.
Yeah. They've been putting up 30 points nonstop.
It's really just how that defense is going to look.
I mean, I think if they beat the Niners, Chargers the week after, if they can beat the Bills again, then best team in the league, I think. I don't think they're getting past the Bills, but that's in 2 weeks. You guys could discuss it.
Yes, we will talk about it then. Next game, we got the Chiefs and the Bengals. We're all rocking with the Chiefs except for Rupp. He's rocking with the Bengals.
I get it. Chiefs don't beat them.
I have to say this for James. The Bengals own the Chiefs, and Joe Burrow is Patrick Mahomes' father. Sorry. Yeah, 0-2 against Burrow. Some pretty bad losses too.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know what happens. It's cursed, honestly. There's no explanation.
It's one of those matchups. Trust me. I know about it. Definitely when it comes to the Chiefs. Trust me.
True.
Yes.
Oh, man. But I think it turns around. I mean, Chase is going to be back, but I don't know if he's going to be Chase yet. He might be on a snap count or something. I mean, that hip injury, for you to be out that long and potentially could have been the season, can't really rush into it.
Yeah, but even so, T. Higgins just absolutely goes off. Even when Chase is playing, but T. Higgins is a great receiver.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs corners, they're very young. They've looked pretty good at times, but they're going to have to come up with a whole game plan to shut them down. Yeah. You can't just expect to man up on either one of those receivers. Like you said, Jamar Chase getting healthy. I think Mixon's going to be back. They're pretty much at full strength right now.
Yeah.
So it should be one of the best games.
Perrine is still going to do damage.
It should be a good game either way.
I'm hoping Chiefs. I like the Chiefs. I love Burrow though too, so I don't know.
Mahomes just has a chip on his shoulder this year, I think.
I know,
especially all the Tyreek talk, and now he's having one of his best statistical seasons.
Yeah, which
ever.
Is crazy.
Even
without a number 1.
Next game, we got a nice divisional matchup: Chargers and Raiders. We're all rocking with the Chargers. The Raiders look so good at times. Their offense is very, very good at times, but they are just a poorly coached team. Yeah. Their defense is bad, and I mean, we've seen Justin Herbert has kind of turned it on. Now he's getting his receivers back.
Yep.
And he's looked fantastic.
Yeah. So Keenan Allen really helps the team out. Mike Williams is going to be, if he is back, he's in the end zone. He's the target. And Eckler's just a monster. But I think the Chargers are going to do it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's definitely
hopefully not. But
not great for the Jets' playoff chances if the
No.
Chargers keep winning.
Chargers got to lose at least 3 out of the next 6, but I don't think that's happening.
Especially they're getting healthy now.
Yeah,
But I think Austin Eckler is probably one of the most underrated players in the league.
100%.
He is like a top 3 running back statistically for the past couple of years.
Yep.
And
Ever
just
since
nobody
Melvin
talks about
Gordon
it.
got shipped off, he's been fantastic.
Yeah. He might not be the most efficient runner, but he is just a weapon.
Yeah.
And he's
All
looked great
around.
this year.
Yep. I agree. Let's go Raiders.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, if Josh Jacobs keeps running the ball the way he does, and that's opening up Devontae Adams,
Yep.
anything could happen. Because the Raiders' offense has looked very, very good at times.
Yeah.
But then they
It
also
really
had that
has.
game where they didn't cross the 50. So
yeah, it's disgusting.
I don't know.
Who do you even blame for that? I
Josh
don't know.
McDaniels. That guy's got to go, but they're broke, so they can't fire him.
I guess so.
That's a wild situation
Yeah.
that they do not have enough money to fire the guy.
They've been a mess for years.
Yes.
You know what? I'm blaming on Antonio Brown. Ever
Hardly
since
is
that
too.
happened, it's just like downhill.
Yeah. There are some franchises that have been just terrible, like the Commanders, whatever you want to call them. They have just been a terrible franchise for a pretty long time. The Raiders have been one of the most dysfunctional franchises. They've just had like talent.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just overlooked.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see guys getting arrested left and right. Everything happening there. And
driving Corvettes really fast and stuff.
yeah, bad situations down in Vegas, man. Even when they're in Oakland, just bad situations. Now
True.
Devontae Adams is pushing people and stuff.
Yep.
Just brings out the worst in you.
Yeah.
All right, next game we got the Sunday night at the Cowboys and the Colts.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's Cowboys. Pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Jeff Saturday. You got a bad Sunday.
We've seen his rookie coaching mistakes already.
Yeah.
Obviously, the timeout last game on 3rd down just didn't call it for some reason. There was actually no reason that he didn't. Then he comes out and says that he wish he had that play back.
Yeah. The announcers were saying like that he should be calling a timeout here. Like, listen, I don't blame him. He got thrown into this out of nowhere. So, but yeah, no, this is gonna be a blowout.
It should be.
Yeah.
The Cowboys have looked fantastic.
Micah Parsons is gonna like eat. So
Matt Ryan is not going to have a good day.
No, it's gonna be bad.
And I mean, Jonathan Taylor has not looked like Jonathan Taylor at all.
Yeah.
He's had pretty good games here and there. He's kind of starting to heat it up a little bit.
A little bit.
Jeff Saturday, I mean, obviously one of the best linemen in Colts history, so he's going to want to run the ball.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's going to be hard. That defense is crazy.
Yeah.
The Colts defense has looked pretty good at times.
But keeping up with the Cowboys offense.
They're just not going to be able to do that.
No, Cowboys, they could be one of the best teams in the NFL, but they just choke every year.
Mhm.
So I can't wait till they pass the Eagles, make playoffs, and lose first round in the playoffs.
Probably it's going to happen.
Shocker.
Another thing with the Cowboys offense is Dak Prescott has the highest turnover rate out of any of the quarterbacks. He just hasn't played a lot. Like obviously Josh Allen's red zone picks. He's leading the league in picks right now with Davis Mills, but Dak Prescott has played 6 games and has 6 interceptions.
To 10 touchdowns.
To 10
Yeah,
touchdowns.
that's crazy. Because when you think of Dak, you don't think of that.
Like he still looked good though. There's been multiple games where he hasn't thrown a pick. And if they get Odell, which I think is
that would be
very
so smart to go there.
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense for him to go to Buffalo because I think I see him having a bigger role in Buffalo.
Yeah. And I think Buffalo has a much better chance of winning a Super Bowl than Dallas.
Yes, but I mean,
the
there's so
AFC
many.
is harder, but
Plus Vaughn's there. There's so many outside factors. I just hope he chooses a goddamn team already.
Yeah,
So
I'm
annoying.
almost starting to hate him.
Yeah,
So
just dragging it out, man.
Yeah.
Jesus. Like the guy's been cleared for almost a month now.
Yeah, but he's still not going to play for another few weeks. So it's like,
Yeah,
pick a team, start training, shut up.
we've been saying for the past couple of weeks. Hopefully it's this week. Hopefully it's this week.
Yep.
He's going on his visits this weekend. Hopefully it's this week.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I hope so.
Keep
We'll see.
dreaming. It's not happening.
I'd love to see him as a Bill, though. I will say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I know you wouldn't, but I would.
Yeah, no, not me.
That would be insane. Even if he goes to the Cowboys, like that's insane.
Yeah, but Josh Allen getting Odell compared
Yes.
to Dak getting Odell, that's
a big.
nuts.
I mean, Odell is still amazing.
Yeah.
We saw that last year. He is still great.
Yep.
I'm not going to say he's as good as he was like his rookie year and
Yeah, no.
everything.
But he's still that guy. He can make the catches. The route running, he can get open. I hope he does not go to Buffalo.
I hope he does.
I think that'll push Buffalo over the edge.
I think the offense would be unstoppable at that point.
Yeah, as long as
'Cause-
Allen could get his crap together.
But
So,
like you're going to have to double Diggs, then you're leaving OBJ open.
yep.
let's say somehow you double them both.
You got Gabe.
You got Isaiah McKenzie, Gabe, Dawson Knox. They're just weapons on weapons.
Those weapons like crappy. Isaiah.
If they're like third and fourth options, then those are great. Gabe being a number 2, I love Gabe. He's a great player. I just don't think he's number 2. Yeah. He does not consistently get open enough for me to consider him a number 2 or feel comfortable enough to have him as a number 2.
I think Gabe on most teams, and he's not even going to start. I think Josh Allen is just that good that it makes Gabe Davis, okay, he's kind of a number 2. He's a 3, Yeah. Because him on any other team, he's garbage.
Especially a team that like can't throw it deep.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's averaging almost like 20 yards per reception, which is insane. Yeah, it's crazy. So last game of the week, Monday night, another big divisional game. 2 very underwhelming teams, Saints and Bucks. We're all rocking with the Bucks. The Saints are just really bad. They're not coached well. They don't use their best player. Andy Dalton is either throwing 3 touchdowns or 3 picks. The Bucks have kind of started to heat up a little bit. They haven't looked fantastic, but Godwin had a great game. Rashad White's looking good now.
Yeah. Whenever Kamara has a bad matchup, I feel like the Saints lose. Yeah. And this is a terrible matchup for Kamara. So they're not going to have him involved at all. The spread right now is 3.5. I think the Bucks are going to beat them by more than that.
Yeah. But it's also the Saints always beat the Bucks for some reason. So we also have to take that.
Yeah, but you got the ginger Andy Dalton. I don't know. I don't think it's happening. Red Rocket. There you go.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, but if we're just going based team versus team, there's no way that the Bucks lose.
Yeah.
But the outside factors of it being a divisional game, maybe.
And Todd Bowles
is terrible. I say it every single week. Why do they not use Alvin Kamara?
Yeah.
He is fantastic. You don't have to just run up the middle. He literally is. Just screens, anything, shotgun straight to him, wildcat, anything.
Yep. Then when you give him a break, when he's not on field, just take a knee. Because you're probably going to do better by taking a knee than doing anything else. Because Andy Dalton friggin' sucks. Jameis should be back in.
Yeah, that was really weird how he even said it. Like, you're not supposed to get benched when you have an injury.
Yeah.
If you're a starter, you get injured. Doesn't matter how great your backup looks. You come back. That's still your job to lose.
Yep.
I mean, that happened with obviously the Cooper Rush and Dak situation is a little different.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, it's not like Andy Dalton has lit up the league.
No.
And Jameis obviously has a bigger arm.
So it's like,
I don't know why you wouldn't at least throw him in there.
I don't know either. Doesn't make sense.
It's not even like they're tanking because their first round pick is with the Eagles. So I really don't know what they're doing. And the scariest part about that is they're still in the hunt for the division. They could very easily win that division.
If they win this game, what are the standings?
They might be in first, honestly.
So Bucks are 5-6, Falcons are 5-7, and Panthers and Saints are 4-8. Literally one game behind. That's
disgusting.
Gross.
I hate that a lot.
And one of them is going to be making the playoffs.
I still fully expect it to be the Bucks, especially how they look pretty good.
Yeah, it's going to be the Bucks for sure.
But oh god, that division's terrible. Yeah. That's like how the NFC East was a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
Now the NFC East is the best division in football.
Yeah,
rivaled with the AFC East.
Yeah,
but
the East is just taking over.
All right, now we're going into the records for last week. I ended up winning the week.
Wow.
I went 12-4. Everybody else went 10-6. You guys are mid. So now this brings my record for the year to 163. Rupp is 98-65. Tyler is 93-70. And James still in the lead, 101-62.
Wow, he's like falling off though.
Oh yeah, no, his lead has been a lot. He had a 7-game lead, I'm pretty sure at one point. Wow. It's just dwindling away.
James, step it up, man. What the hell? You skip podcasts, now your record's going to Oh, there's probably gonna be a duck noise with that one. So
that's probably true.
Well, right. I'm gonna be going. What am I? 15-0 this week.
We'll see. We'll see. I hope you go 14-1 and the Jets end up winning, and that's the one that screws you.
Yeah, true.
That'd be pretty funny.
I'll take it. How about that?
Yeah, fair enough. Right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Sportorium Podcast. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at the Sportorium Pod and on Instagram at the Sportorium Podcast. Till next time.
See you later.